welcome to Sound Like Lifestyle. My name is Olivia and I'm a lifelong ballerina and classical musician. Today we're going to dive into 10 essential etiquette tips for ballet class. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Olivia and on this channel I cover all things beginner ballet, lifestyle, and self-improvement tips, so I'm so glad that you're here. Today's video is going to be entirely dedicated to etiquette. So whether you're a beginner or a lifelong dancer, etiquette is crucial to the ballet environment. Not only is it about respecting everyone in the space, but it also helps create a professional environment for everyone to enjoy. So let's go ahead and dive into these etiquette tips. So tip number 1 on our list is being on time. It's actually recommended that you show up a little bit early. Now if you do have to be late, of course notify your instructor, but also when you come to class, wait for the music to stop. So for example, let's say that you come to class and they're just finishing up the tendu portion, make sure to wait until the music ends, open the door, say excuse me, and then head to a spot at the bar. So speaking of bars, that brings me to tip number 2, which is to never lean on the bars. Not only does it just kind of feel a little bit lazy, but it's also disrespecting the equipment. And a huge rule is also to not lean on any musical instrument. So for example, if you're in a very traditional class like how I was growing up, we had a live pianist there, and it's a huge no-no to lean on the piano or any other equipment in class. Also, I remember a teacher telling me one day that if you lean on things, it kind of takes away from your warm-up and from your muscles being warm because you're resting. Of course, you need to rest and sit down if you're feeling overwhelmed and something isn't right. But if you're just kind of feeling a little lazy, really fight that urge to lean on something because it won't be conducive to your ballet practice and it's considered rude to your instructor and those around you. Now speaking of instructors, we are at tip number 3, which is to always be quiet in class and respect your instructor's time and words. So your instructor is there to help you learn and grow, and it doesn't help if you're speaking over them or having side conversations. It's incredibly rude. So make sure to stay quiet, especially when your instructor is speaking. Now tip number 4 is kind of similar, and that's to make sure that you're always facing your instructor. So let's say your instructor did a combination with you all and then they are giving corrections to a peer in your class. Well, it's also considered rude to kind of like not be paying attention and looking around. You want to make sure that you look at your instructor and look at what they're saying, because while they might be giving corrections for that one person, odds are that other people in the class are also making that same mistake, and you can all learn from that correction. And also, even if you're not making that mistake, well, you can still mentally be aware of it and have it in the back of your mind that that correction is something that you're doing properly and is something that you should keep on doing. Now we have tip number 5, which is to follow the dress code. A lot of ballet schools have specific dress codes, some more strict than others. For example, in some classes you may be required to wear a ballet belt or specific flowers in your hair, but also some ballet schools are a little bit more lax and you can wear pretty much whatever you want. But I highly recommend that you check out your school's policies or ask your teacher if you're new, any specific dress code requirements that they have for your specific level. So a bit similar to dress code is tip number 6, which is to not wear jewelry. Not only could jewelry be distracting, but it could also be a hazard. So you want to make sure that you're respectful to yourself and your peers, because for example, let's say you had a ring or an earring fly off, someone accidentally steps on it and hurts themselves. That's not great for anyone. Your jewelry's destroyed and your friend's foot could be injured, so that's not good. So make sure to have safety in mind and don't wear your jewelry to class. Number 7 is to be prepared. So make sure you bring plenty of water, perhaps a protein bar, maybe a little snack, and also bring any prescription medication that you need to have with you on hand. Now some ballet programs can be really strict. In fact, I had a class growing up that we weren't allowed to drink water during class. Now I think things have really changed these days and teachers are more open with you drinking water during class and staying hydrated. So it's definitely a good idea to bring a water bottle with you and a little snack, because that could also be great for after class if you're really tired, to kind of refuel your body. Now tip number 8 is to be mindful of the space. There are a lot of dance schools that do not want street shoes on the flooring. Not only is ballet flooring expensive, but it could also hinder your ballet practice if someone tracks in mud or water or who knows what on the floor. So you really want to be respectful of that dance space. Perhaps there might be cubbies near the ballet dance room so that you could just put your street shoes in there, or perhaps your teacher might have, a certain area within the studio where you're supposed to put your street shoes. But definitely be self-aware and make sure that you understand the rules when it comes to bringing street shoes into the ballet studio. Now, tip number 9 is to be mindful of the flow of ballet class and when it's your turn to go ahead and dance for your teacher. This is more applicable in dance classes with a larger group of students, where you often have to switch lines or take turns going across the floor. Typically, the dance teacher will have everyone line up in rows. For one combination, the first row will go, then they'll all go to the back, and the rows will shift up. So that first row will perform, go to the back, and that will kind of keep a flow of making sure that everyone gets a turn at the front in the mirrors and in front of the instructor for corrections. The same goes for going across the floor. Usually when you're doing like a diagonal type of combination, there will be little groups of students who will go across the floor. So make sure that you don't skip ahead in line, don't, get back in line and do the combination a bunch of times. Make sure that you go according to the teacher's instructions of the class, and don't steal the spotlight from other students by trying to go multiple times or being in the front and just staying in the front the whole time if you are in a large class where everyone needs to take a turn with being seen. Now finally, we have tip number 10, which is to thank your teacher. Now, of course, at the end of a ballet class, there's typically a reverence where everyone does a kind of like a choreographed dance to thank everyone for being there and to thank their teacher. But there is another step which I highly recommend, which is after class ends, you go up personally and thank your teacher. Back when I was in more of an old school class, all of the students would line up at the end of the door and hold my teacher's hand and curtsy and leave the class that way. Now, I'm not sure how many schools still do that these days, but regardless, it's a really great idea to go up to your teacher personally and say thank you for class. Your teacher is there helping you be your best, and it's really great for you to thank them for that. Also, a quick reminder that I do have a complete beginner ballet playlist, which you can find above and also linked down in the description below. This is a complete beginner course that starts from the very basics of ballet and helps you work your way up to more complex concepts. Now, thank you again for joining me today. If you liked today's video, please comment, share, subscribe, thumbs up, turn on the notifications, all those good things that would really help my channel be seen by others in the beginner ballet community. So again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again soon, and take care. See ya!